I caught my husband going to town on my best friend, but I can't say anything about it or else he will take half of my business and my daughter, who I love more than him, and it will ruin my life more than it already is. I, 40F, have a baby girl who is 5. I have been married to my husband for 12 years. About 10 years ago I started my business and it is my pride and joy. I love my life, and I enjoy my work. 2 years ago I lost my beautiful mother to breast cancer. It all happened in 5 weeks and she was so young. 55 years old. It sent me into shock and depression. A short while before that my best friend found out that her husband cheated and he left her for his mistress. It was a hard time and my best friend and I became even closer than ever before. She moved in with me for a while after my mother passed because I wasn't really functioning and she was homeless. I started with antidepressants that killed my intimate needs. I felt guilty for my husband, but I really couldn't do anything but try to be healthy again as soon as possible. My best friend lived with us for 1 year and they started sleeping together towards the end of that year. That's when I got home early and heard them. I ran out in shock. I came back a few hours later pretending nothing happened. I managed to smoothly find her a place because I couldn't bear it happening in my home. My sanctuary. My happy place where I live with my daughter. My best friend had already found herself a job and I took the opportunity to find her the apartment near her job. She was grateful. I was a bit more relieved. The affair is still going on. If I leave he will take half. It will ruin me and my business and what I am trying to build for me and my baby. No, I don't want to leave. It is so unfair that he is the one cheating and I am the one who will pay if I said anything. I refuse, so I am letting it happen. Instead I wrote him off as my companion and safety blanket. I still have lots to be grateful for. My baby. My family and my beautiful home. And my business. Most of the time, I am content and happy even though I myself don't know how I am doing it. Maybe it is numbness or resignation or maybe it is true contentment. But sometimes, when everything is 100 times magnified I can barely contain my panic. Especially at night when he wakes me up because I am crying. Again. Are you having a nightmare? And he tries to kiss and cuddle me to make me feel safe. I'm here. You're safe. I wish I could tell him that my nightmares are my escape from my reality with him and that his shoulders aren't safe. He rarely asks why I am crying. He probably thinks it is mom, because that's what I tell him, but sometimes I feel like he knows or that he can't help himself wondering. What's going on behind those eyes? What do you mean? I can't read your face anymore. See, you are silent again. When I look at him he immediately looks away like he is scared he would turn into stone and says I miss you, that's all. My panic has increased more these past few months since he started paying me attention again. The first period after mom's passing, he never bothered me out of courtesy I suppose. Never asked for intimacy. Then he had her so he didn't need me. But now? I don't know what changed. They're still together, so what does he want from me? Is he testing me? I never understood why they're doing what they're doing either. I have seen their texts. There's no love there, no respect, no warmth. Not what I would expect from two people who are sleeping together, especially not when the stakes are so high. You would think that they love each other so much that they're willing to pay the price in case they're caught. No, there's a lot of anger, fighting and resentment. A lot of guilt and self-hatred. He calls himself and her disgusting and shells of a human being. Is that too some sort of love? I don't know why I'm writing here. I googled about infidelity and self-help and I ended up in this community and I read tens of similar stories. Maybe I would feel better writing my own down. Please don't think too ill of me. I know that I am pathetic, but I used to have more dignity. Update. I have taken 2 measures to protect myself and my daughter when my husband and I get a divorce to protect my assets and my daughter's future. I am sure many will find my methods to be dubious and honestly it is fine with me. All's fair in love and war and this is a bit of both. I told my father everything. He was horrified but a bit relieved that he finally found out what's been hurting me. We have discussed the possibility that he could buy into my business in case I need to divide so he and I have the bigger share and still can make the decisions. Then I have agreed to my husband's suggestion of seeing a marriage counselor. He talked about my mom's passing and how it affected me and my mentality. He kept talking about me building walls and being distant and how he was longing for me to come back to him. I just wondered while he talked what he would do if I told him that I knew. Would he still complain about my walls or finally understand them? I opened up about my mom's illness and how it affected me. Not only the losing her part but the fact that my grandmother and great-grandmother passed the same way. It kept me thinking that I have inherited this and passed it down to my daughter and the guilt and fear that I have been feeling. I chose to have my daughter fully aware of the risks. What was I thinking? Since the counseling we have been talking more in our day-to-day and I just honestly told him that my business was one of the stressors in my life. That I am always worried that if I didn't fix our marital issues, and he wanted to leave me it would change my career and future while his wouldn't because he is government employee. This was 2 weeks ago. The day after, he sat me down and told me that he wanted a post-nuptial agreement to make me feel more secure. He wanted me to be with him because I wanted to, not because I had to. I talked in my first post about my house etc., but I really don't care about that anymore. Everything else can be marital property, and honestly I started to hate this house and I can't wait to leave it. So next move is starting the separation. I am aiming for the end of this year, and then only the hardest part is left. Telling my daughter that mommy and daddy won't be living together anymore. I am not looking forward for that part.